I brought home the bacon and the cornbread too! Hey guys, so Mina here again. I just finished my first super Spartan race, well, first Spartan race ever, this past Saturday at Combe Ski Hill. I think it's like in Clarington, Ontario, and there's just like a couple things that I'd love to share with you and how my first experience went. So I think that the best way to really break this off is the first one would be, I have a list here. I prepared for this. Is, you know, what gear I brought, where did I do burpees, my proudest moments, my worst moments, and lessons learned. So the first thing we're going to talk about is gear. And the one thing that people are like, oh, you should not bring are actually sunglasses, because they say, oh, you're going to lose them during the race. But my Oakleys and I are besties. These things stay on my face for the duration of the entire course, and it was so sunny, especially when it's going to be a little bit, you know, in the afternoon when you're racing a little bit later, and instead of squinting, these have made my ride so much more comfortable. So love these. Bring your sunglasses, at least, you know, bring the ones that stay on your face easily. The second thing is I wore compression and dry fit clothes. So I wore my sports bra and my booty shorts. I was actually gonna wear a shirt, you know, for a little bit of modesty, but I thanked past Mina because it got so hot. Bring your compression, especially when you don't want to wear clothes that can get caught on things very easily. Like there's gonna be barbed wire, there will be walls, like yeah, it's just like things that stick to your body a little bit better, and feels and breathes like second skin almost. So compression. The third thing is I wasn't even going to consider these ones because I don't like them, but I brought long socks. I thought that I didn't want to scuff up my shins as badly, but it also was more practical to bring long socks, because the first one is you're going to be trudging through like mud, like knee-deep mud, and every time you step into mud, it's going to try and suck your shoes off, and if you're wearing low-cut socks, your socks are going to fall off as well. So these just stayed on my feet the entire time. And secondly is there's going to be like rope obstacles. So I don't know, something like the Tyro Traverse, because I see it in French, so it's like traverse for me, so it's traverse. Yeah, so the rope traverse, for example, like if you're dragging your feet along that rope, you're definitely gonna get a bad rope burn. So socks protect you from that as well. So bring them, you're gonna love them. And finally, probably the most important thing, see, these are all things I haven't even really considered. It was more of a whim right before the race. You want to have the right kind of footwear when you're doing obstacle courses. I was going to bring just my normal pair of runners, but I was like, okay, maybe this is the time to really invest in some trail running shoes, because that's what I like to do as well. But yeah, I bought these the day before the race, which is really stupid, but it worked out for me. So these are the Reebok, no names on it. Yeah, the Reebok All-Terrain Super OR. And what's great about these shoes is that they have these cleats at the bottom, so you can actually grab hold on like muddy hills, or even just going uphill in general. They also have holes, as you can see right here, to drain all the water out. And they have really great laces that you don't need to really retie. And you know what? These haven't come undone after I knotted them. And finally, these are so easy to wash off. Like one power wash with the hose, it's all good, soap not needed. So invest in a pair if you can, especially if you plan on doing more obstacle races in the future, which I plan on doing as well. So just moving on to my proudest moments. The first one would be getting over the 7-foot wall on my own, because the first time I tried it, I got a massive muscle cramp as I was trying to throw my leg over the wall after, you know, pulling myself up. And I essentially like fell to the ground, and then everyone's like, oh, like, are you okay? And I was like, yeah, I got it. And they're like, oh, do you need help getting over? I was like, nah, B, I got this. Don't touch me, but I got this. Thank you, appreciate the help. So I was able to get it over. I jumped on my other foot, the one that didn't have the muscle cramp, and I did it. So pretty proud of myself. The second one would be the Z wall, or the Z wall, because we're Canadian here. So it's the wall where, you know, it's in shape of a Z, And then instead of like rock climbing rocks, we actually just had wooden rectangular blocks, so you couldn't just curl your fingers over anything. So I was able to actually accomplish that. And then at the end, I had like maybe 1 meter left of wall to climb, and then I saw the bell, which is just the ring at the end of it. I was like, I could just take my shot right now and Superman that bell, or I risk falling trying to go on the rest of the wall. And I was like, yeah, let's fly, let's fly. We're born to fly. So I flew and punched that bell and it rung. So high risk, high reward. And the guy saw me at the end. He's like, I saw that. I acknowledge you. I was like, yeah, props to you too. So what were the worst parts about a Spartan race? You can never do a Spartan race, I find, without talking about the hills. There are so many freaking hills because this happened on a ski hill. So a lot of the times you would, you know, go downhill and then you would go uphill, downhill, and over like maybe 6+ times on a super. And it's just so depressing when you're done an obstacle, you're running downhill, and then when you turn the corner, it's an immediate uphill. You're like, oh my freaking god, here we go again. The second thing was, it was an obstacle, which was, I don't know what the official name was, but it's called this, well, I called it the cinder block pull, where it's like this massive cinder block, probably like plus 45 pounds, like 45 pounds and over or something. And then it was linked to this long chain that you had to pull. You couldn't just deadlift it up the mountain. And then you had to go up a hill and then all the way back down. And it wasn't just a simple hill. It was like clay, mud, hill that, you know, whenever you stop pulling the cinder block, it would just sink in and you would have to double up your energy to carry it back up again. Yeah, so that one was a tough one, and that actually triggered my muscle cramp because I was like tugging it in different areas and my leg was kind of jammed up in ways that you shouldn't jam up your leg. So that was a tough one. That was a tough obstacle. The second one was, thank God this was near the end, it was getting my rope burns on the freaking rope climb. So I don't know if you can tell, I don't know, it's kind of disgusting. This one was pretty bad. I got a rope burn. I got a pretty bad rope burn on my fingers, and it hurts every time I bend them right now. And what happened was, I got all the way to the top, and then at that point my arms were so tired that it just kind of let go on its own. And it was also super muddy, so I just slid all the way down to the bottom, and I also have the burn on my thighs as well. So yeah, that one was a bad one, because after that was the last obstacle, well, second last obstacle. It was called the Hercules hoist, where it was this massive bag, like probably 50 pounds or something, and you had to just pull it up with a pulley system. It was all upper body for me, and the fact that my fingers were just raw and cut from that rope climb, I couldn't even pull it without like freaking screaming in pain. It was so painful. So where did I do my burpees? During the entire race, I did burpees 4 times, so 120 burpees. The first one was the rings. So it was one where you had to essentially orangutan yourself there. And I guess I didn't practice enough because my arms were just so short and I couldn't build enough momentum, so I like fell off after the first ring. The second one was the spear. I couldn't get it in. The third one was the tyro traverse, where you had to, it was like a long piece of rope that you had to like sloth yourself towards the bell and ring it. I was like halfway there, and then my muscle cramp happened again in my calf and I just fell off. I was like, I couldn't hold on. It was so painful. So oftentimes it's like I was already injured or have a muscle cramp. That's why I did the that's why I did the burpees instead. And finally, as I mentioned before, it was the Hercules hoist. I could barely get that bag off the ground. It was just, it was a lot heavier than I expected, and also, you know, my fingers were just shredded at that point. I do plan on racing again in a Spartan Super. I also want to do, you know, the sprint and the beast as well. But I definitely want to do the Super again, but timed. So things that I would probably practice for next time would be hill training. I do a little bit more on my upper body. maybe I would bring gloves. Not too sure about carrying something extra, but I think that'd be worth considering for anyone else as well. I need to know how to run up walls. Even though I was able to pass 3 out of 4 of the walls on my own, the 4th wall was maybe 10 feet high. I'm not even too sure, but it was definitely like, I probably have to run up, take 2 steps before I can get to the top. So I have to practice that, and we'll have to expect muscle cramps. So I probably have to have, you know, a better nutrition leading up to the day, and I don't also know the considerations, like maybe I should be carrying some salt pills or electrolyte stuff, just in case, because they only have water stations. So those are the things that I would consider if I were, you know, to do it again or training for a future race. One thing that was really nice about the open race that I did, because there's open, competitive, and elite, is that in open you can actually help out each other, and there's a lot of camaraderie that happens during the race. There are like some people who you keep seeing, and you say hello, you high-five them on the way. I remember this, like, maybe like there were these 2 groups that I kept seeing. So one was from our rival university, like McMaster. So they really helped me on like the 10-foot wall, which was really nice of them. I wish I could, like, you know, go back and say thank you, because people just get lost among the masses. But they really helped me there. The second, yeah, and there was this other guy, I think his name was Jake, and he had a friend named Steve. Hey, if you're watching. And you know, I just kept seeing them, and they were really encouraging the entire time, and we actually chatted right after. So I think that, you know, when you're racing a Spartan, like, you're not alone when you're doing it. And just be courteous to other people. Is, you know, if you see someone struggling, be sure to, you know, lend a hand to them. And if you're struggling too, like, don't be afraid to ask for help, because people are there, and they will gladly help you get over any obstacles that you may have. Yeah, so that's my review. Well, at least that's my experience for my first Spartan race. It was tough, but it was really fun. I think that what's really important about this race is that you can't think about like all the other 28 obstacles that are waiting for you, or how many uphills that you have to do. You just need to focus, you know, going one step at a time, and just, you know, what's the task at hand. It's to just move forward. So yeah, don't overthink it, but do prepare yourself for a level of fitness before getting into the race. Let me know if you want to know anything else about my first race, or how I'm training for my next one. And I'd love to hear from you about what other tips I should consider, and how your Spartan races go. Anyway, I think that's enough of me talking. Have a great one, and see you in my next video. Bye!